Good afternoon, everybody. It is, Tuesday, December 26th. I hope you had a great holiday weekend. I'm Charting Man Dan with the Chart Guys. We're going to check in on everything as we got some volatility. The bears are peeking out here today. We're going to talk about Litecoin. We made the thumbnail before this most recent leg down, which derailed the Litecoin bulls a bit, but we'll certainly talk a bit about Litecoin. We're going to talk about the crypto stocks, MARA, Riot, and Coin. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. So, first things first. We've got a red flag for the bulls because where we stood after our last check-in live stream to end last week was the first red flag from here will be if we see over a 50% retracement of this move up. And we now have that. We've retraced about 70% of that move up. So what the bulls are hoping for at this point is that we have enough of a base of support between 40 and 40.5 thousand to establish a higher low compared to this level. If we get that, I'm then going to be viewing things as a 2-day equilibrium, which would be the high, low, lower high, and anything above 40,000 is a higher low. And then we look to just tighten up for, potentially another week. But obviously the bulls have to prove to us that they can form a daily higher low here and stay tightening up. And you can also look at this and say, well, we've been holding the 2-day EMA 12 this entire move since the $28,000 range. And so if we were to lose that, that would stand out. But long story short, bulls have some defending to do. And, for me, whenever I see today's candle and my mindset is look for weekly consolidation, because again, anytime you go multiple months in a weekly stair-step pattern and you don't see any pullback, we know that weekly consolidation is inevitable, and we know it's not going to surprise us when it shapes up. That said, that was my mindset here, and bulls held support and saw some nice follow-through. And I missed that playoff support because my mindset was weekly consolidation is inevitable. It looks to me like it's shaping up. Even if we hold support temporarily, we're probably going to roll over and break 40,000. We didn't. We held on. And so I'm open to the possibility that bulls hold once again and keep tightening. But again, the main takeaway is do not be surprised when we see weekly consolidation from here because it's extremely overdue. Another thing that we're seeing on the weekly chart, I put out a video over the weekend on our YouTube channel talking about a balance pattern. And this is exact, this could have been in the video as far as a full-on move with demand clearly exceeding supply. So the scales are like this, and now they're sideways, and the scales are doing this. And oftentimes that precedes the scales tilting into supply then outweighing demand, into some consolidation. None of my analysis is going to have anything to do with an ETF or the halving right now. All of my analysis is current price action. If we get an ETF headline, then obviously that is going to potentially impact things in the short term. But for me as a trader, and I made the post over the weekend talking about how there's a whole bunch of euphoria going into 2024. I just see this weekly chart and it tells me, get ready for weekly consolidation, whenever that is. So that's my mindset. And there's a number of bearish patterns that we can be keeping an eye on if we do get weekly consolidation. And let's just go into those real quick. First one would be Link. Remember we were talking about the Link potential, 3-day or 2-day, whatever you want to be on, but the head and shoulders here. So that's a possibility. Oh, there was another one. There's another one that looks just like that. Is it dot? I don't think so. Should have written it down. Let me check real quick here. See if I can pull this up. Rune. Got it. So Rune. That's a 3-day head and shoulders. If we drop down and break 505, it is a very clear reversal pattern. So keeping an eye on those names for bears if Bitcoin continues to show us weakness. Of course, on the long side of things, there's still backburners going on. You got Sol. Sol just hit first hourly oversold with a daily higher low is the most likely scenario. Not to mention it, you got $100 psychological support coming into play. So very quick, 5% bounce. And that's my kind of hourly backburner. Hourly oversold for the first time, and the 5 and the 15-minute RSI crushed and in the teens. So let's see if the bulls can clear 108 here and try and see this hourly backburner bounce get going. So have game plans for both directions, in my opinion. Are you going to sit through weekly consolidation? If you do, that's fine. There's no shame in that because we know weekly higher lows are the most likely scenario. You just want to be protective, which is why every weekly live stream, I'm throwing out a couple. Keep an eye on this as a bear trade just in case we roll over. There's at that point in time, there was no sign of the bears. But again, we know they can come out of the woodwork pretty quickly. So hourly oversold bounce is now underway for Bitcoin. Bulls would love for 4-hour oversold conditions to mark a 2-day higher low. Again, that's entirely possible that we tighten up on the 2-day time frame into next week. It's a holiday week. Stock market volume is extremely low. Stock market is closed on Monday for the new year. So if the bulls can show up from here, it's possible we keep tightening up for a while. But again, just have game plans for both scenarios. And we're just going to play the zoom out game now. Bitcoin hourly bounce underway. We're watching EMA 12, which we rejected from last time. We've got to confirm the hourly uptrend. If we confirm an hourly uptrend, we zoom out to the 4-hour. We're going to look for a 4-hour lower high. If we confirm the 4-hour uptrend, that's the first indication of the daily higher low being set for a potential continued tightening range. So we're going to get a lot of information here on this hourly bounce, and bulls really want this to be the low. So we need this hourly chart to shape up something like an inverse head and shoulders for that to start shaping up. Crypto stocks. So just like Bitcoin, weekly consolidation is very much overdue. MARA, daily consolidation, is very much due. Again, you look at this chart and you say, when daily consolidation comes, we won't be surprised at all. It's very expected. And we will be looking at hourly backburners here. First, hourly oversold conditions to scout a daily higher low. Last week, the 5-minute backburners were perfection. I traded them multiple times, including Friday. 5-minute oversold, right off hourly EMA 12, 4% bounce in a half an hour. This reminds me of cannabis stocks in 2018, the way the MARA is trading. The cannabis stocks were in blue sky breakout, but the trade was buy for the strong close, sell the gap up open, reload 5-minute oversold. And we just did that time and time again. It was like an ATM machine. And MARA has been doing that. And I've been loving how it's trading in both directions, but obviously the bulls still have favor. And now we got a tightening hourly range where I'm viewing this as low of Friday, higher low, lower high, and we're just tightening up. Well, actually, I take that back. That lower high is not set yet. So I'm looking for an hourly equilibrium as the most likely scenario on MARA, but it's just a daily stair-step pattern with a higher low every single day for the last 10 days. And we've gone up 95% since that has been taking place. Coin is standing out strong. No, I gave that back. It was. That most recent dump really changed things on coin. It was holding up better than MARA and Riot, but as you can see, it fell off a cliff there as Bitcoin dropped hard over the last couple of hours. But coin, watching the low of yesterday, again, daily consolidation. Look at hourly oversold on coin, including extended hours. Every time we hit hourly oversold has been the time to buy. The last 3 times, again, including extended hours. I don't like when backburners happen in extended hours for stocks, but they've still been working out. And so it's the same thing. We're going to look for first hourly oversold. We're going to look for a daily higher low, anything above 144. And Riot has been a lot weaker than MARA. This looks more like a bit of a rising wedge. So again, the way that I've been approaching these stocks is if there's a bear setup that I like, I'm shorting Riot. If there's a bull setup that I like, I'm trading MARA long. So 5-minute backburners, I'm long in MARA. Hourly consolidation, I'm shorting Riot. And that's been working pretty well. Other names like Hut, trying to make some recovery, but a long way to go. Again, Riot blew through the high of the summer, and most other crypto stocks, Coin did as well, but the other minor stocks, not anywhere near as strong as MARA. Clearly, the market is telling us that big money is choosing MARA as their vehicle right now. Their trading vehicle. So I am watching for daily consolidation. Again, certainly wouldn't be looking long on MARA right now, but will be interested in hourly oversold conditions, looking for a daily higher low. Of course, depending what Bitcoin is doing at that point in time. So I've been loving the volatility. The last 2 weeks, I have not had to prepare for, scanning what stocks am I going to trade. I just know I'm trading MARA and Riot. And even today, it's a very low, very low volume day out there, but 90% of it's just my list right now is MARA and Riot of orders that I've played today. And I traded MARA for a bit of a short and nope, Riot for a bit of a short and MARA for a bit of a bounce. So that's my approach to the markets right now. But again, it's all about Bitcoin. Can we shape up a daily higher low for a continued tightening range? ETH. So ETH pulling back towards the recent lows, base of support 2150, trying to hold. And we're looking at ETH BTC. Again, have we changed anything here? Nope, that same line that I've had up for weeks. Make analysis simple. Have the bulls proven anything? Is this line resistance? Yep, then nope, they haven't proven a thing. That has to change. So when that changes, ETH will get more of my attention as a bull, but until then, it's weaker than Bitcoin, generally speaking. But we'll see if that shifts here in the short term. The dominance chart for Bitcoin has been dropping pretty significantly here. We had this 3-day head and shoulders on the dominance chart confirm. Certainly a bit of a wonky one, but and then we just hit, the lowest point that we've seen in what's that? Mid-October, mid-November, 2.5 months almost. The lowest dominance that we've seen here. So again, altcoin bulls like when that's the case, but need to see Bitcoin. So what do we want to see? Altcoin bulls want to see Bitcoin trade sideways on the daily range as long as possible, put a stop to this drop, and then have the dominance chart keep dropping, showing the altcoin bulls benefiting more significantly. Litecoin. Litecoin got my attention today. Again, the thumbnail was made before that most recent drop, but why am I watching Litecoin? Because this is the first time Litecoin is over daily EMA 12 resistance in 2 months. So we can say something is different about this chart for the first time in 2 months. We also look at the weekly chart. It's oversold. Weekly RSI being oversold on LTC, BTC. Doesn't happen a ton. It has marked some bounces. But again, I'm just looking for a weak bounce here. Even just a weak bounce will last a couple of days. But ideally, if the Litecoin bulls are going to get any action, we need Bitcoin to put a stop here to set this daily higher low and get a bounce going. Have this oversold bounce confirm an hourly uptrend, then a 4-hour uptrend. If that happens and LTC, BTC can keep bouncing, we've got to get over 1805 here. If the bulls can do that, I would look for Litecoin to make its way up, 76, 77, 78 range. But only if Bitcoin puts a stop here, because if Bitcoin keeps dropping, people are going to ditch Litecoin very easily. And that's, this big drop here. Litecoin was looking great all morning. And then just look how long it took to change that. 1 5-minute candle. And that stopped me out. Someone just asked a question, can I share a lost trade with analysis? So I recognize, all right, I want a little bit of a position in Litecoin for this possibility. That's a 3% 5-minute candle drop. And so I entered Litecoin's hourly consolidation here, got a position in the low 73s, looking great, hourly higher low, heading back to recent highs, and then Bitcoin's most recent leg down. A lot of altcoins took a hard hit there, just like that coin chart took a hard hit on that drop, and so I stop out. Small loss. We were right near my entry, and the hourly higher low was just recently established, but that's essentially telling me, nope, you're wrong real quick, which is, as traders, we want to be told that we're wrong as fast as possible. Get me out of the wrong trades, keep me in the right trades. And so, Litecoin, at this point, has to see Bitcoin bottom and the LTC, BTC bounce keep going. Litecoin's a potential weekly head and shoulders. So we just talked about, DOT. Nope. We talked about Rune and Link. If Bitcoin is heading to weekly consolidation from here, Litecoin can absolutely be a weekly head and shoulders and set a monthly lower high, because a monthly lower high is the most likely scenario. So it's all going to depend on Bitcoin. All of these, as we know, all these altcoin charts, Binance is having a big day for the first time in a while. Huge day. That's a picture-perfect bull flag and getting to multiple month highs. So Binance is acting as a bit of a laggard. QNT just had another big leg up the last few days. It's on back burner watch. We'll watch for first hourly oversold conditions. Let's see, did we hit 15-minute oversold there? Yeah, so first 15-minute oversold, trying to see a 4-hour bounce. So again, it's not game over. If Bitcoin's holding 40,000, bulls are going to keep trying to buy bounces in altcoins. If Bitcoin starts weekly consolidation and loses 40,000 support, then I think you're going to see altcoins sell off a good bit harder. But the best altcoin long entries are when Bitcoin finds a bottom after a sell-off. And so again, bulls are hoping that that's now. But the Bitcoin bulls definitely still have proving to do. So Sol, congrats to the bulls. Huge leg up over 100. Nice 25% follow through from that break. And again, there's nothing wrong on this daily chart. Another name where daily consolidation was inevitable. Retracement size is still just fine. The big question is going to be, did hourly oversold mark the daily higher low or not? So if we bounce here and then drop to a lower low, we know that's not ideal bull conditions. But if we see this bounce and then recover and keep following through, it can keep that daily chart strong. So much is going to depend on whether this is the Bitcoin daily high or low shaping up or not. And so again, aggressive bulls are positioning for, yeah, that's the Bitcoin daily high or low, whereas more patient bulls want more proving to be done or are waiting for weekly consolidation. Again, there's nothing wrong with waiting for Bitcoin weekly consolidation at this point. You just may have been waiting for a while already, and you may have to wait a bit longer if we do set this daily high or low. And again, full disclosure, I thought we were going to break bear. After this drop, I thought that we were going to break bear. If it wasn't here, I thought that we were going to break bear here, and we didn't. Bulls proved that they were a bit stronger than I anticipated that they would be. So let's see if they can do that again. All right, reading the comments. So ADA, first thing I want to know, where does the BTC pairing stand? Looking for, well, we're sideways here. So multiple weekly inside bars. This is obviously the most important support. And I would be viewing that as the most important resistance. So we're chopping around sideways. All right, what's the US dollar pairing look like? Again, that's a head and shoulders that is trying to be fended off. So left shoulder, head, right shoulder, key support of 543 is holding. But if that level breaks, we zoom out for very clear weekly consolidation. Again, watch that video because a lot of these charts are shaping up in that balance pattern. Granted, we did it before and saw a leg up, but got to be watching anything like ADA that has not seen any weekly consolidation in months. Got to prepare for it. So it's all about 543. If that level breaks, weekly consolidation is underway. We can already see a pretty decent bounce here. It's just a question of, does that mark a bottom for a more significant period of time? Or is this just a bounce to cool off RSI, and then we roll over and break that daily support? The good news is a lot of these charts have very clear daily supports. That means two things. So Bitcoin 40,000, low 40,000, ETH, that, what was it, 2150 level. So it means two things. Number one, it gives you a level to play off of as a bull. But number two, we know there's going to be stop losses under those levels. Stop losses are going to trigger if Bitcoin breaks 40,000. Stop loss, the more you bounce off a level, the more people place their stops centered around that level. So just be aware that there may be some slippage when those levels break, and if we get, stop losses in a bit of a cascading effect. Laggers in the miners. So I'm going to use an example from uranium. So here's uranium CCJ, lead bull, adjusted for dividends, blue sky breakout. We had a beautiful monthly equilibrium that we were watching very closely over the spring and summer. It broke bull, lead bull in the sector, easily. Then we broke bear here, chopped around sideways and broke bear into weekly consolidation, another name that was very due for weekly consolidation after 2 months of straight up. While we dropped here, the laggards held well. URNJ is the smaller name miners, and their weekly chart still looks just fine. It's trying for another bull flag. And so what you want to see about the laggard miners is that same thing. If MARA drops into daily consolidation, What you want to see is money, profit taking from MARA rotate into other names. How can we visualize that? Well, we can look at two charts and say this one's clearly holding on better, but we also have our comparison charts, just like we compare alts to BTC. So MARA divided by Riot is still just all bull. And HUT or MARA, let's do the other way around. So Riot divided by MARA, we can see it's been weaker forever. It's in free fall still. HUT divided by MARA. We want to be comparing to MARA because that's our clear lead bull. So HUT trying to start slowing that relative weakness. Just treat it like a downtrend. We're still in a daily downtrend. We've got to break. We've got to confirm an uptrend if there's going to be a significant shift. And so CCJ, let's just do URNJ divided by CCJ. So look at that shift. So relative weakness, a little bit of strength, but overall still staying weaker. Big shift. So what you need to see is your minor divided by MARA to see a solid shift to show us that funds are rotating around. That profit taking from one thing is benefiting the other thing. So HUT's just a daily stair-step pattern, higher low every day. We're going to scout a daily higher low. Next pullback. We don't have a ton of resistance nearby. Looking at 1583, 1675 as the next level. It's just a question of, do we follow MARA down when MARA starts daily consolidation next? Glad you got a nice monitor for Christmas. Yeah, don't be too zoomed in on days like today. Again, the stock market volume today is minimal. So I'd be on MARA and Riot, I'd be on at a bare minimum. The lowest is the 5-minute time frame. The 15 minutes been nice and clear. We had a little equilibrium that broke bull, still maintaining the higher lows here. So the 15-minute higher lows is our bull control guide here for today. And we'll see if the bulls can maintain them. Another solid bounce. Didn't get hit too hard with that most recent Bitcoin leg down. There are still bulls trying to buy dips, that's for sure. Let's see if they can win another one here. RNDR, I think we hit a recent top, didn't we? Huh? Not much. Brief pull, yeah, that V-shaped recovery. Look at that base, 450. So that's what I'm talking about. Bulls have confidence playing on 450 because it keeps working, but we also know that there's going to be stop losses that trigger when that breaks. But as we've been saying, if you're holding daily EMA 12, you are a lead bull. And this is just a picture-perfect example. Plenty of times dipping below it, but we keep closing above it. We keep recovering. It's looking good. As long as that is the case. And if you want a closer buy stop, I mean, 450 aligns with daily EMA 12. If we break that level, the probabilities that we lose daily EMA 12 will increase significantly. So if I'm a bull that's trying to, keep gains, but let it keep riding out and just walking a stop loss up, it's under 450 right now. Fill BTC. Tightening weekly range, trying to put in a bottom. Yeah, need to see any name that hasn't run, their BTC pairings got to prove something to us. I'd probably go on the 2-day time frame here to condense it down a bit. I don't love the fill clarity on the daily chart. Looks like we have a little double bottom, 526, 527. So that's a clear short-term level. Aside from that, it's 486. But mostly it's just a ton of trading within that one big candle. Dash BTC, trying to put in a bit of a bottom. So we go to the weekly and say, okay, this is the most we go to the daily and say this is the most impressive bounce attempt in the last couple of weeks. Still got to confirm a daily uptrend, but it's a good start. So dash up at fresh highs. Weekly uptrend is our guide. Got to follow through here, because if we go right into daily consolidation from here, it's definitely starting to shape up like a rising wedge in the sense that we bull break straight into consolidation. You don't want to see a bull break straight into a multiple day pullback. So bulls want to maintain the 4-hour uptrend from here. They bought that dip nicely. Again, best case right now, if you're a bull, just to reiterate one more time, Bitcoin setting a daily high or low right now with a lot of proving still to be done on the hourly and the 4-hour, and the dominance chart to continue dropping. And for the names that have not run yet, like Litecoin, like ETH, BTC, to see a move up on their BTC pairings to indicate some rotation into their names. If I want to short Sol from here, it's a 4-hour lower high. Maybe a 12-hour. Because we already had that little 4-hour bear flag just confirmed. So if Sol's going to be putting in a longer term top, we want to see this hourly oversold bounce, get some follow through, and then confirm a 12-hour downtrend. Thanks, Mahogany. Glad to help. LTCN is a stock trading based on Litecoin, Grayscale Trust here. It's just extremely illiquid. You got to be really cautious on these things. Its entire volume today is about $7.5 million, which in the stock world is nothing. Just as an example, MARA today on a low volume day has traded over $1 billion. $1 billion, $7.5 million. It's not comparable. So it's just very thinly traded. Some days it trades $1.5 million. So you can see, like, you know, look at the 5-minute time frame. You know, sometimes we get less than $15,000 traded in 5 entire minutes. It's just very thinly traded, which means if some people start to get interested, it's very easy to throw off the balance of supply and demand in both directions. And so, you know, Litecoin coming to life a little bit the last day or two is leading to an imbalance where demand is far exceeding supply on LTCN, so the gains to the upside are far more than what Litecoin is doing. But just be aware it's playing with fire to a certain degree, because it goes the other way just as quickly. So you just got to be aware that it's an illiquid instrument is the reason for the gains that are being seen. CLSK. Destroying MARA? CLSK, compared to MARA, has been falling off a cliff for the last 2 weeks. What are you talking about? Unless you're talking about a different CLSK, that's an inaccurate statement. Destroying MARA. Maybe there was a period there. Let's just go from December 11th. From December 11th, CLSK, so over the last 2 weeks, is up 38%, not bad. December 11th, MARA is up almost twice as much, almost 3 times as much. 86% compared to 38%. So it looks like CLSK came off the bottom faster thanks to earnings reaction, but it is underperforming MARA big time the last 2 weeks. It outperformed on the earnings reaction. I'll give you that. Matic broke its weekly equilibrium bullish. That was one of the laggard names to be keeping an eye on. So a really nice break there. Got to break $1. Let's just clear that psychological level for convincing follow through. But a good day today. Look at that buy into the dip. Anything that V shapes like that is a great sign, obviously. It's almost a 10% bounce from those lows. So all about $1 from here on Matic. But again, a beautiful tight range here. Breaking bull. Just got to get that follow through. Have I ever had a huge loss? I got tons of... You got to keep in mind, I've been making videos for the last 9 years on YouTube. I've got a video the day after I lost $50,000 in 2 hours in crypto from 2018. Like, that video's out there. You could see the look on my face recounting, you know, the lessons learned and all that. It was a mistake in a trade, in an order that I placed. But yeah, they're out there. I wish I had that link to share with you directly, but it's got a thumbnail of somebody falling down the stairs, and it's something like Dan messes up or something like that. I forget what the title of it is. But sometime in either 2017 or 2018, I went out to dinner and came back to my account being $50,000 lower. And I made it back in about a week. You just get used to it. You get numb to stuff. If something happens again and again and again and again, just like, you know, I've never been punched in the face. I'm a nice guy. I don't get into fights. You punch me in the face, it's going to stun me way more than if you punch a boxer in the face, because they've done it a million times. It's no big deal. It's the same thing with trading. You just get used to it. And you learn from the lessons. Neon. So I'd be looking for a volume climax if I'm trying to look for a top, but there's no indication of a volume climax right now. And again, just identify something. Okay, we've had a clear 4-hour uptrend this entire run right now. So if you lose the 4-hour uptrend, that's the first indication of a temporary top. And there's no sign of it being lost right now. So just walk up, you know, every 4-hour high or low, just walk up a key line that is highlighting to you that that's now the most important level. ORDI, that's more of a pullback than the bulls want to see. We're still going to look for a 12-hour higher low. Bulls need to shape up an hourly trend change back in their favor. But retracement size, not ideal. Again, you always want to hold the gains of the move up. And if you're giving over half of them back, it's a bit of a red flag. So we just made a clear daily bull break, but then we just give back 65% of that move up. That's a decent bit of profit taking. So the bulls still have the trends in their favor, but it is more profit taking than bulls want to see. When you see bull breaks, it's already up way too much. Back burners. Google TheChartGuys back burners. It is my most profitable trading strategy. Easily what I've made the most money in crypto and in stocks, hands down, not even close. And it comes after breakouts. All right, let's check in on Bitcoin one more time here. So we have a 5 and a 15-minute uptrend. We're looking for an hourly lower high to be the most likely result of this bounce. We've got to confirm an hourly uptrend from here. We need another leg up. Ideally, bulls want to get to EMA 12 here to give themselves some space to try for that trend change. So some bulls are already proven to us that they are buying the dip. Our lead bulls today bought that dip real quick. That's a good sign. You know, if everything was selling off and everybody's running for the exits, then we'd have less confidence in the bull's ability to hold support. But again, it's, right now it's a 50-50 for me. Well, I would be surprised if Bitcoin broke 40,000 support in an already extended move down, meaning, if the 4-hour RSI is already 22, I'd be surprised to break 40,000 support in those conditions. But the question's going to be, is today enough of a red flag for bulls to be unloading on this bounce, which keeps it weaker? That's really where we're going to get info, which is why we've got to see these short-term trends back to the bulls. So again, just, if you want to be aggressive buying dips, that's perfectly fine. Just use stop losses close by, because again, we just have to, every decision that you make from here on out until Bitcoin sees weekly consolidation needs to be factoring in, what if Bitcoin starts weekly consolidation while I'm taking this trade? So you protect against any long positions that would be greatly hurt if Bitcoin were to drop down and break 40,000 from here. Doesn't mean you can't make the attempts, because again, a lot of these names have nice and clear supports nearby. And the way that we play backburners is selling partial into the initial bounce to be able to stick our stop under the recent low and have lower risk. It's a good sign that, MARA is seeing a decent bounce. So I'm definitely open to the Bitcoin bulls tightening up on the 2-day time frame as a possibility from here. All right, thank you for the likes, only 58. Not great. And we'll check back in the near-term future. We'll know in the next 12 hours whether the bulls are buying this dip and we're going to tighten up, or whether there are some major red flags. Again, today alone is a red flag for me, but it is still salvageable. So thanks again as always. Don't forget to do good things. Hope you had a great holiday. And protect yourself. Place some stops. But backburner's still trying to work. The fact that Sol just bounced 5% real quick from hourly oversold. Still a lot of work to do. Got to shape up those hourly charts back to the bulls. See you soon.